It's even perfecter.
I know, right? It's very shiny. Can you lean back a little bit?
Laura Lee was near to powder my head.
Oh, that was only no. That
was just for vision.
That was just for vision. That was just for vision. I thought it was Scott that was going to do that.
Scott's on here.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Okay, cool. We're set up. We're ready to roll.
Okay.
How you doing?
Unbelievable. That was easy.
Yeah, I know, right? All done. Cool. So, how's the event been for you?
For me personally, it's been remarkable. It's wonderful to see that significant a change year over year.
Right.
From the last three events.
Yeah, it is a huge transformation, and there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of new people here, and that's really cool for sure. So
very much so. Yesterday when we first went in, and we're all set up and ready to go, and I turn around and look at the audience, and we're like, "Whoa, there's not many empty chairs back there."
I know, right? I know, and I saw the staff bringing extra chairs in and saying, "Hey, we gotta get some
Somebody
chairs."
Can't count.
Yeah, so a lot of really exciting and interesting things happened here. We talked a lot about technology that a lot of folks have been on the fence about. Some have said, hey, it's not coming. Some have said it's coming. And it could be anything from ADAS to security, EV, lots of technology. And they're the forefront. The people speaking are at the forefront of this technology. They know what's coming, right? And when they say it, we know it's happening. There's no ifs or buts about it. So that's been pretty cool. Probably the coolest thing, though, is ETI is doing something very, very new. It involves our very own Dutch.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, after it's just like yourself, Dutch had participated in the shop owners panel in 2019 and last year. And last year, after we were finished, we were in the closing dinner. And Dutch came walking up to me and he says, "That's it. I got to be a member right now." He said, he's pulled his wallet out. He said, "I'll give you a check, credit card. You tell me whatever you want. I'll take it. I got to be a member right now."
Right.
You go, down, boy.
Right.
Why so excited? He said, because in the last 2 days, I learned things about the industry that I support my family with that I've never known. He said, I had no idea the things that go on in the background. And I don't think the people that were presenting can understand how I, as a shop owner, can take that away. Yeah. But it was invaluable to me what I saw here, and I would pay anything you want for a membership because I want to see more of it. I want to see it as it's happening through the communication. I mean, so passionate. We left left Austin. I went back to my office, and the following day there was a card on my desk. I picked it up and I opened it up, and it was a beautiful thank you card. And it was from Dutch, and he had his business card in there. And he said, "As soon as you're ready, you tell me because I want to be the first member, and tell me if you need more. I'll give you money on top of it to put towards this because I think this is that important a cause to this industry." Oh, I was like, darn, where's Lucas with this podcast? I'd like to record that. So he was so passionate about it. And I communicated with him. I touched base with him a couple of times and told him we were doing it. It involved having to get a change to our bylaws to add a new layer in approval of the entire membership to approve that and welcome that in. Okay. So we did that. We rewrote the bylaws. We went through the whole process. We got it voted on by not only the board but the entire membership. It's a 2/3 majority to pass, and they passed it. So we're ready to start doing it. That's why I felt so bad that he couldn't be here, but I was adamant that I would keep my word because he's keeping his, and make sure he is now the official first affiliate member of ETI, affiliate level. But we also I want to talk to him and try and encourage him to be a driving force with the group, giving him access to the people and other things and feeding to us. We need to see some of this. Yeah. Or if you could do that, that would be helpful for us.
And that is so phenomenal. And I want all the people here to understand how important that really is and what a big deal it is, because I'm telling you, until you sit through this, right? And I talked to the shop owners that I was on the panel with today. I talked to the guys who have just recently gone to work for some of these tool companies, and they've never seen anything like this. Mm-hmm. And these people are all saying, "Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, if I had just known some of this, this would have made everything make more sense. And you and I were just talking, there was a presentation today, and it was talking about shortages, talking about part shortages and some of the things that we're not seeing come through the ports right now. And it wasn't, hey, we have to blame this one thing or this manufacturer or this, that, or the other. It laid out in detail exactly what was causing the shortages and how you could take action, what you could do differently, and how you could improve the situation and who to contact.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that level of access at any other event, Brian. I don't know if you know how important it is. This is like nothing I had ever seen until I came for the first time.
Right.
I mean, this is truly phenomenal information. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Eye-opening.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like game changing.
So we want to make sure that shop owners can see what it is we're doing.
Right.
We want to hear back from shop owners on behalf of our members, the tool manufacturers.
Right.
This is what we're hearing, from the street.
Yeah.
These are things that are important to all of the shop owners out there.
Right.
And we need to be looking at that to understand it and figuring out how do we use that for the betterment of the industry.
Right.
Our objective is still the same as it was. Well, you saw the video this morning on the history of ETI.
Right.
It's as important today as it was back at the beginning of that. We need direction and focus at a time when we're dealing with more technology than we've ever seen in vehicles at the same time.
Right.
ADAS, EV, and all of the names that we're picking on. But now we're starting to hear the practical application. Like, okay, well, to do this, I'm going to have to do this with my shop and do that with my shop and do this and that and have these kind of people and all kinds of things. Or I could send it down the street, and it's, we want to help keep it alive. Maybe if we, with the pressure and the communication avenues that we have with our OEM partners, and some of them are really good.
Yeah, definitely.
That we can sit down and talk and go like, guys, 7 years from now, 8 years from now, you're really going to be wanting to fill your dealerships with 7 and 8 year old cars.
Right.
We need to help the aftermarket now because there's a huge curve both in facility and education and understanding. And how do we help them get what they need to be able to do it?
Right.
And maybe the model of the whole world, automotive aftermarket changes or evolves in here. We just got to make sure that it's fair and we stay able to play in the game.
Right. And one of the big takeaways for me from this event, 3 years in a row,
mm-hmm.
right, is I always looked at many of these companies as big mega corporations, and they didn't care what I thought, and they didn't care what I was experiencing. Coming here, you really quickly understand that's not the case. They're asking questions. They want to know, how can they make it better? What do you need from us? Mm-hmm. Is there a problem with the product? I'm happy to help. That's what we're here for, and we want to learn. That's why we're at this event.
Mm-hmm.
And the other big thing that I thought was so cool is the manufacturers are coming to the table and saying, hey, we're not against you. You need to realize we're trying to help. You've got to work with us.
Right.
You got to meet us somewhere. And so I think as shop owners, it's very easy for us to back up and say, I got to have somebody to blame. It's got to be the manufacturer. It's got to be the tool company. It's got to be this.
Right.
And you come here and you say, oh, that's not the case at all. The case is that we weren't communicating. The case is that y'all didn't know how I felt and what I was experiencing. The case is that Bob didn't know what you were experiencing over here.
Mm-hmm.
And all it took was a little bit of understanding from party to party. And it's been phenomenal to see the difference. So, you say that, hey, we've got this new membership level. What does this consist of? How does it work? Tell us about it.
It's mainly something to give shop owners and educators and others who are not tool makers visibility to what's going on in the industry that are driving the decisions of companies, driving the decisions of what scan tool companies do or what ADAS equipment companies do. It's driving that information, but getting it to the people who need to know. Oh, geez, I had no idea they're doing something with this, and that's exactly my problem I've got. And reaching out to them, or coming, seeing something in what you read, and now going like, "Wow, that's a problem," but never having an avenue. How do you reach out and contact somebody at General Motors?
You don't.
You call me.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do: is put something in place that it's invaluable information for the OEMs or the tool manufacturers. It's invaluable information to hear and know, uncoerced, what you guys need, what you're
Right.
seeing, what you're feeling, just to understand that. I mean, actually, it's part of market research or something, or
Right.
marketing, or product management even, is to understand that. But we're at a day where they've taken the technology and it's out in the street. It's out in the aftermarket.
Yes.
They haven't sat down with any of you guys and had a conversation
Right.
to tell you where it is. We want to be more of the avenue that says, okay, we're an avenue of communication.
Yeah.
We're an avenue of education.
Right.
So, we're not going to do the educating, but we have associations and partners that we work with that do. And we
Right.
want to feed that to them. We want to feed the challenges that you're seeing relative to collision. We've made long strides in working with some of our collision association partners.
Right.
And we want to help, get that out there to the world as well. So, our hopes are that we get this infrastructure that's well received, obviously, but we get an infrastructure in place that's one of education and communication, and gives you the ability to say, I saw what you had posted over here. I read it. I have questions, or I have suggestions, or I have needs, and give them a way to get it to us that we can feed that into the tool makers and to the OEMs.
That is fantastic. It really is. And knowing that they are so responsive to it,
Mhm.
right? Knowing they're actually listening, knowing that they're not just up here on some pedestal looking down and saying, you little peons. No, they're really listening. They're really trying to make things better for all of us. So if someone wants to become a member of ETI, what's the next step?
Next step, we've actually got the links built into our website.
Okay.
When we launch it, we're going to do press releases, and hopefully it'll be within the week.
Okay.
Next week, that we'll do the press releases and everything, and people be able to go online and apply. The process is exactly like the process for a full member or an associate member,
Okay.
but it's trimmed up a bit because it's only got to worry about the affiliate member.
Right.
So you go on, you apply. It's a much easier vetting process for the affiliate level,
Okay.
and approved. We invoice you, you pay the bill, and we make you a member. From that point, you have access to the website and some other things that we've put in place, or we're putting in place,
Okay.
that becomes some of that information repository
Okay.
for that everybody can share in. And then over time here, over the back half of the year, we'll be working in getting everything up and going, communication lines going, and different avenues for keeping that information or making that information available, get those things in place. And somehow I think we'll probably be making a phone call to you guys and your team.
Yes, sir.
You guys have been inspirational leaders in the industry. And
It's an honor you'd say that, sir.
so, they go like, but they're just from California or California from North Carolina. But it's like, no. You got to see what these guys have got it buttoned up, and getting to go to the ASOC event and the dinners but the training and the focus, the interaction. We want to understand what you need from that level.
Yes, sir.
So that we can go to work and try and help get you what you need to make it better for
That's
whomever
fantastic.
it may be, your shop owners, whatever it may be. You guys are great on communication, and we'll leverage that as well.
Fantastic,
So-
sir. Well, I am so excited. I can't wait to become a member. I'm a little bummed Dutch got to go first, but what can I do? But so I'm super excited about that. And Brian, how can they contact you?
If anybody wanting to get in touch with me, it's bplott@etools.org,
Okay.
or my cell phone is 313-354-1311.
Very good, sir. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about what the future holds for the organization, for our industry as a whole. And I think this is really a step in a direction we've never been before.
Yep.
And it brings a level of unity. And the name of this video is a huge announcement from ETI. And I do think this is huge, because I think this is the next step in creating the industry that we all want to work in. I believe this is part of the tech shortage solution. I believe this is part of the reputation issue we have in the industry. I believe this is part of the solution for that. And I believe this is part of what brings us all together and gets us moving in one direction.
Right.
So,
And even if it makes it an avenue,
yeah,
something that we haven't had before. And I also like what you were saying about it's a different world today, and it's our business, our industry, the automotive aftermarket are evolving, whether we want to control it or not.
Yeah.
And I just think that this is going to be a great way to work together
Yeah.
towards that end. And you young guys have really be leaving a mark on your on your history.
Well, you've left a mark on us, and we appreciate.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
We appreciate it more than you can imagine.
Well, thank you.
We really appreciate all you do for us and the opportunity. The opportunity to come to the very first one that we attended, and then the second one in Austin. I mean, that really means the world to us, because it did open our eyes to so much. It showed us so much, and to those wondering, like, if you have the opportunity to attend an event like this, you got to be here. I mean, you just can't miss something like this. It's phenomenal. The information that's available is unreal. And when I say that, we go to a lot of training and we hype a lot of training, and there's some really good training all over the world. This is a different level. This is something not seen anywhere else. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
It's not really training.
Right.
I don't think it's training. It's more like a whole mess of press releases.
Exposure?
Like the exposure to the newest information and what's coming in the next 6 months to a year to 5 years to industry trends.
Yeah.
And if you're creating a SWOT analysis, if you're formulating a plan for your business, what it's going to look like in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, I don't know how you get away with not hearing this information, and then also deciding on equipment purchases and the type of training you send your techs to, and you're making those decisions completely blind to what the direction the industry is heading in. And I don't know how you make informed decisions on those things without attending an event like this, or at least being able to communicate with the OEs, with the tool manufacturers, so
You guys, like you were saying, you got a chance to talk to an OE here, or an OE there, or a executive from one of the tool companies,
Right.
and talk to them about that. You did your part, because they're going to take back what questions you had, what suggestions you gave them, or what opinions you have. They're going to take that back and sit and look at it and go like, I might have a point here.
Right.
And the guys, perfect example. What was last evening? I'm talking to Dave Stovall from Toyota.
Right.
And we're going on and on and on. He says, this thing came up about J2534.
Right.
And we've got a new process in place that simplifies it and gives you a simplified model to do J2534 reprogramming. You think they'd be interested in knowing about that? And I said, I know you tease with me a lot, David. Are you being serious or what? I said, heck no, we will get it in this. He says, well, I know now we're all tight with schedules. No schedule's tight enough to leave that on the table. So
Right.
So we hit it right before we broke. But he'll be taking that back, and that they're going to put a link on their website and hopefully give it some reference to this.
Right.
But so that you guys get the information on how to do it, especially for, obviously for the shops that are doing reprogramming.
Yeah,
But
that is huge. David's already trying to figure out where that link's going to be.
That's somebody. They heard you guys talking and what the issues were, and he's like, "Oh, geez, I forgot all about that." Well, if it hadn't been for that information would still be over here.
Locked up in a
You're
box
helping
somewhere.
him and Toyota get more information out. And they're, as you heard from the OEs, the ones that are here, they are genuinely concerned about how their end user customer views them as a company. And they want to sell more cars, Toyotas or General Motors and Honda, whichever. Right. But they know they have to make it easy for that customer to maintain it. They need to have a good vehicle life story and history. Right. So they'll go buy another one at the end of the game.
Right.
This kind of information helps them to be able to do that.
Yeah, it really does. And I liken it to almost feeling like I was running blind before I came here the very first time, because when you come for the first time and you see some of the things that are happening here, man, it's awakening. It's eye-opening because there's so much information. And even for those who don't go to the ETI website, right? If you've not been to the ETI website, there's a ton of information on it too.
Yep. And growing it, we have a new marketing manager. We're growing that whole structure, the website, as well as the content we have there.
Right.
And we don't need any foo-foo. We need solid content that is beneficial for everybody who's going to touch it and read it.
I agree.
And by the way, we also threw a few things into the 2 days of general session that, like the last session that we did, that was behavioral analysis. Things like that don't have anything to do with automotive, and they have everything to do with automotive.
Right.
If you take away what you learned from that, or maybe what you learned from Jeff DeGraff yesterday afternoon when we closed,
Right.
it's not automotive content, but it's stuff you need, take to heart, read it or hear it, listen to it,
Right.
and learn from it. So we try to mix it up and give you something more than just, okay, here's this automotive thing, here's this automotive thing.
Right.
Let's give you some flavor and some depth.
And man, you brought it. You really did.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you letting us be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to podcast here, and appreciate the opportunity to be a member now.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
super
We
excited about that.
Look forward to lifetime members.
Hey, don't you worry. We're going to make it happen. So everybody, watch for the update. When we think this week we're going to see?
It'll be next week.
Okay,
Sometime next week.
Okay.
Probably early midweek.
All right.
This week's
Sounds
almost
good.
over, man. This
It
week's
is?
almost over. Yeah.
Oh.
I just ran payroll. My week's done.
I'm going home.
That's why
I'm going
David's so
home.
relaxed.
I know, right?
I got payroll covered. No,
He got
I have so many more
payroll
bills
covered. He
coming
has
out.
no more money, but
Hey,
No, I have
he's
someone.
in sunny San Diego. What do you?
right, exactly. He may not be able to make it back to Kansas City. Was that part of the plan?
I'm gonna hitchhike.
Just take a while.
It's gonna take a while.
A little bit of a vacation. I think I'll take my
I
equipment.
might
with me.
end up in Mexico.
Man.
It's just down the street. It's,
I know.
Brian Plott, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. David, pleasure.